Hey, so I read your cousin's thing, so I'm gonna make these videos and then I am going to do homework, I think. So honestly, in your cousin's case, I 100% agree with watching over the kids and making sure that they are safe because your cousin's kids are young. And I agree with that, like watching the kids and making sure that they're safe and being like, yeah, let's, actually be there for the kid. So I definitely agree with that overall. Um, what else? So yeah, I agree with that. There we go. Just being there and watching out. And in your case, or like, maybe not necessarily your case, but other people's cases, I have read stories where basically people are kidnapped, which kind of sucks a lot, uh, by a lot. And then I've also heard of cases where they meet people online and they meet them online and these people are not safe people. They go ahead and go over to their house and they like kidnap them and it's like, wow, that's scary, to say the least. So yeah, yeah, in that case, like I definitely understand and get it. So yeah, of just wanting to protect the child. So yeah. Now I think there does come a time in which, like, small kid, definitely watch over them. Now as they get older, let's say 13, 14, 15 years old, then maybe some kind of flexibility, some kind of freedom where it's like, yeah, you can hang out with like as a group with people and make sure that you're never by yourself because there are still predators out there, unfortunately, no matter what kind of walk of life you're in. Um, so, yeah, again, that's 13. That's not like five. Not by any means. Like five, six, seven, yeah, definitely like watch over them and make sure that they're safe. And simply because like they're kids and like can they escape? Do they know what to do if something happens to them? Will they be too scared to do anything if something does happen to them? So that's why I'm like, in your cousin's case, I 100% agree with that. And what I meant by overprotective is similar, I guess, to what my parents did. That was too much, like just way too much. And I understand, like, they were trying to protect me, but they didn't really prepare me for anything. What they could have done is, like, maybe allow a little bit more freedom when I was younger, and then also explain, oh, okay, there we go. Like, what to do if certain scenarios happen and talk to me in order to make sure I was safe instead of being like, oh, you're old enough where like nobody's going to kidnap you type deal without actually giving me any knowledge or wisdom of what to do if stuff like that happens. So like I still remember my mom was like, oh yeah, I feel safe with this person driving you. And it was like, how old was I? I'd have been 19, 20 years old maybe. And yet the person who drove was driving at like 80 to 100 miles an hour the entire way. And so, like, just what that taught me was just because you feel comfortable and safe does not always mean that you're in a safe environment. And then also teach your kids, like, especially again, 12, 13, 14 years old, that's way too young to date, I think. Like, even in human psychology and development or physiology and development, something. Even in my like psychology course, the teacher is like, "How old do you think is a good age to date?" Well, and when I explained to him, like, yeah, basically the younger the worse. And he was like, yeah, basically what he explained was as you like whenever you're older, like it's better to date whenever you get older, not like, 50, but like when you're not as young a teenager. And then I've heard some people say, well, you kind of got get to, date other people to kind of get to know what you want. Guess what? People will have friends. by having friends, you kind of get to know what you want. Like, it's, I don't think people realize that. I don't. Um, I actually no, they don't realize that. It's like, yeah, if you get to know people, if you become friends with people, you kind of get to know what qualities you like in someone and what kind of qualities you don't like in someone. And it's like, okay, I like these qualities in someone, I like this quality in someone. Okay, will they be a safe place for like me to be? Oh, guess what? This friend has like these qualities, and I absolutely love those qualities about them. So because of that, I want someone who's like either them or similar to them. So I definitely agree with your cousin just in terms of making sure that the kids are safe, especially again at that age. Like that makes sense. Like it really, really does. So yeah, I overall I agree with your cousin just in terms of that, and then knowing what kind of boundaries to put up. But yeah, so in regards to like what we talked about in class, I realized I was going on a tangent. Basically for what was it, high school, college? Yeah, so what it is that whenever you're a teenager and you start dating people, then basically like you're still growing, developing, that you can kind of have that kind of I guess reaction, or like let's say you're 12 years old, you start dating someone, for example, and then what is that you might consider them a safe place, like the person that you're dating, but at the same time you're dating them, but then you're carrying those reactions of a 12-year-old maybe into that relationship, and then you're still reacting like a 12-year-old in that relationship even when you're like 20. And it's like that's not a healthy way to deal with relationships like at all. So honestly, I think a person should still be a kid. They still need to be a teenager and still understand what's okay and what's not okay, by being around their parents. So that way it's like, okay, I understand you're angry. I understand you're upset. This is not okay. This is okay. Like how, what this certain behaviors are okay, and guess what, certain behaviors are not okay. And that way just having parents set up boundaries, because if you like have kids in a relationship doing that, then the partner may not know exactly how to handle it and not realize they need to set up boundaries to be like, this stuff is not okay. Like, it's not like you can't treat people like this, or you can't react or act like this, just period, toward people. So yeah, I think honestly maybe when a person is 18, that it's a little bit better for a person to get into a relationship. I know my sister dated when she was 18, even though she was still in high school, but she was 18 technically. Yeah, so I definitely think 18, going out as groups or like with friends and such is okay at an appropriate age, explaining boundaries and such. And then if a person, of course, breaks those boundaries, then it's like, yeah, you're grounded. Like, we can't trust you because we gave you permission to like hang out with friends or do certain things, and you did not discuss what had happened or anything like that. So yeah, I definitely think there's some things that are age appropriate. um and yeah, so that I understand. And in my case, like some people might be like, you're so hard because you won't let your kids date until 18. I want to make sure that they can handle the relationship, that they're able to communicate effectively, and that they don't ruin someone else's life and they don't ruin their own lives. So I'm not only protecting my kid, but I'm also protecting someone else's kid, because I want to make sure that they can handle and communicate and everything with those relationships. So yeah, I definitely agree with your cousin in terms of that. And like, yeah, so being overprotective, some people might say overprotective, but honestly, compared to my parents, like I didn't even go out with the youth group to hang out as a group until I was 16. Now, I did go to kids camp when I was like 12. Like, it's thinking about it now, it's like that is really weird. I went to kids camp when I was 12, but I wasn't able to hang out for a few hours until I was 16. Like, what in the world? This sounds so messed up. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. So yeah. And then I think knowing who your friends are and then knowing like who is it can be very, very important also. So yeah. Also, I am glad that your other cousin has enjoyed their birthday. I'll do another video on that shortly, but because I need to double check the photos and everything. So talk to you later. Bye.